All right, so rather than move on, we're going to spend a little more time today. This is the assignment. It's worksheet 11, so it's notes on quadratic graphs, okay? And we are going to look at number, I already decided, and then I lost my place, 4. So let's go ahead and start by putting it on our calculator, though that really wouldn't be my choice. So maybe I'll talk through it without the calculator in a second here, but I know most of you are most comfortable with the calculator. So it's y equals, make sure there are no plots turned on at the top. If you're getting an error, that's always what the first thing you should look at. Do you know what I mean by plots turned on at the top? Okay, if they're darkened in around plot 1, plot 2, or plot 3, that's going to be a problem. All right, can anybody read it to me? It said 2x squared, was it plus 4x plus 1? Okay, I kind of thought I remembered that one. Okay. I'm guessing that this is going to be above the x-axis, but maybe I'm wrong. Okay, then do you remember, if it's not looking good, you can go to zoom and do a standard window to start with, number 6. Okay, it does cross the x-axis twice. Right here it's crossing the y, and I'm pretty sure it's right at 1. How do you check the y-intercept? The x value is 0. So if you just go trace me over to 0 and hit enter, it will tell you the y-intercept, okay? Trace 0, enter, we'll find the y-intercept for you. Now, if we want the vertex, what is the vertex going to be called on this one? A max or a min? It's the minimum because it's at the bottom, okay? So we're going to go second, trace, choice 3, and we're going to arrow to the left. We're clearly to the left of the minimum down here somewhere. And it's giving us a hint. It wants me to be to the left. It says left bound. Enter. And then I want to scroll past the vertex until I'm clearly to the right of it. Or I can type numbers that are to the left and right. But now I need that minimum to be clearly in between those two arrowheads. Even if you have the older calculator, it'll do the arrowheads. It just doesn't give you these nice lines, dotted lines. And then you need to be sure that it says at the bottom here, minimum, okay? So I am still on guess, so I can go back there and guess if I want, or I can just hit enter. But when it says minimum, now you might get a calculator error. Does anybody get an error down there at the bottom? Like, did you get an error on your whole, did it give you an error overall? Can you bring it up here? What I'm saying by calculator error, though, is it might not say exactly -1, -1. Does anybody say like -0.9999 or -1.00000 something? Okay, so you tried to do minimum. Okay, and then it gave you an error. Oh, that's okay, but that's the kind of error I'm talking about, is that it's going to round to -1. Okay. Yeah. Raina got -0.999999999. Okay. The calculator has trouble calculating maxes and minimums. It's estimating. So this is at -1, -1 is our vertex. What is the other thing it asks us to find? The axis of symmetry actually is going to go through that point. But the zeros, or the x-intercepts, are the other thing it asks. We'd have to do quadratic formula if we wanted to find them accurately without, what am I trying to say? Exactly, without decimal. But if we go second trace, what do we pick when we want x-intercepts? 0, so number 2. Now, which one do you want to find first, guys? If I want to find the one on the left, what two numbers does it appear to be between? -2, and be careful. If you say 0, that would be both of them, right? If we go -2 and -1, you want to say the one on the left first. So you can trace around if you want, but I'm going to type -2, enter. And then when it says right bound, I'm going to type -1, enter. Maybe I am if I don't mess up. I don't know what I'm on right now because, okay, there. I got -2 and -1, and it is crossing in between there. And I don't really care about the guess. Now what happens? All right, I clearly put something in wrong. Second trace 0 between -2, enter, and -1, enter. Is anyone else getting that error? Is it not? Is it to the left of -2? Maybe I'm crazy. What is happening? All right, I'll do it by scrolling this time. Second trace 0. I think it's right around here. So I'm going to arrow to the left. Hit enter. Arrow to the right. Hit enter. Now I got it. I don't know what I was doing wrong. Did anybody type a -2 and a -1 and it worked fine? That's really, did I not hit the negative once? I don't. Anyway, anybody else get this? Okay, so we can write down -1.7 in a minute here. And the other one, I'm going to try it again and see what happens. But the other 0 appears to me between -1 and 0. So I'm going to try to type -1 as my left bound and 0 as my right bound. That time it worked fine. -0.3. Can we round that one too? All right. What could we do to be able to graph this nicely with some more nice ordered pairs? Because everything we found is really tiny right down here, right? Can we do table? Do you remember how to do that? Second graph. And now we could find 1, 7 is a nice ordered pair. All I need is like even one more because it has symmetry. So that'll give me one on the other side. So I'm thinking 1, 7. Help me remember 1, 7. Okay, now let's see if I can. The vertex was here. 1, 7. Now where's another point, guys? If this is the axis of symmetry, do you see how I'm 2 over from that at 7? So on the other side of that axis of symmetry, up at 7, there should be another one, right? And you could have scrolled through your table to find that. The vertex was down here. There was a y-intercept here. So where's another point? On the other side of the axis of symmetry, right? There should be one right there. All right, I got 5 points. I can draw this. Try to make it rounded at the bottom, not a V. I don't know how I did, but all right. So the y-intercept was at 0, 1. The x-intercepts, you guys are going to have to help me. Was it -0.7? I can't. 1.7 and -0.3. Thank you. And the vertex was at -1, -1. Is that right? And then the axis of symmetry. Yes, but it is an equation. It is x equals -1. Okay? Make sure it's an equation. Did that help a little bit? Do you want me to do one more, or you think you're okay? Did anybody have a practice one that didn't go well? Yes. Yes, worksheet 12, number 7. Worksheet 12, number 7. Okay. Use the information provided to write the vertex form, okay? You can use your calculator and find the vertex if you need to, okay? I would really like you to practice x equals opposite of b over 2a. When you get to calculus, if you take calculus, you've heard the AP test, it's a big chunk of it is not calculator, okay? So there are things you have to be able to do without the calculator, but you can pass this class without doing them, so it's okay if you need your calculator. But opposite of b over 2a would be what from this example, guys? A is 1, B is 8, and C is 21. Is everybody okay? So the opposite of B would be negative 8 over 2 times 1. Make sure you do that denominator first. So you'd have negative 8 over 2, which would be negative 4. Okay? It says x equals because that's actually the axis of symmetry. Okay? Didn't ask for that. Shouldn't have boxed it there, Hofbauer. But what that means is the vertex goes through negative 4 something. Okay, who remembers how we find the other half of that? Anybody? Perfect. We're going to put that negative 4 back in the equation. Negative 4 squared plus 8 times negative 4 plus 21. Grab your calculator, type that in. In my head, I got a 5. It's probably wrong. It's 5? Okay. Now, vertex form looks like this. Y equals A, x minus h squared plus k. Guys, this is h and this is k, and A is whatever we started with up here. Okay? So A is 1. So we just have y equals 1. X minus negative 4. Be careful. So that's going to be a plus 4. And then a plus 5 on the back. Does that seem okay? So if you wanted to practice another one, you could try 8. Looks kind of disgusting, doesn't it? These are already all in vertex form. Or do you want me to, like this one? Just to practice this, what would the A be, guys, if I was switching this to vertex form? Anybody know? What's the A right here? 2. And then it would be, we need to find H and K. Let's see, if I do opposite of B over 2A, I get 4. So this is going to be minus 4. And then to plug it back in, I would have 2 times 4 squared minus 16 times 4 plus 27. 16 times 2 is 32, minus 64 is negative 32. I got a negative 5. So I'd have a minus 5 back here. I don't know if I did that right. I think so, but... And it didn't ask you to do that at all on number 2. I don't think you had to do number 2, but you didn't have to put it in that form. I just want to show you how easy that is. You're just finding the H and K. Better? Maybe? Okay. So today what I'm going to ask you to do is to work on finishing everything that's due on that homework check, okay? You can work on your review for the quiz. You can work on Delta Math. You can work on the optional assignment on Delta Math. Ask me questions. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording.